It is 6:07 p.m. and we will get started on the Rules and Public Policy meeting. I was notified by Ms. Underwood that she was unable to attend tonight's meeting, and she asked me to run the meeting for her, so you're stuck with me tonight. First on the agenda is the,
Madam Chair,
the agenda, yes?
do we have enough for a quorum?
Yeah, there's only 3 of us,
Okay,
so yes,
okay.
we only need 2.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Wilson, have you had a chance to read the meeting minutes that were emailed to you?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
I don't. Did you
So
just send
we
them?
will, we'll just hold them for the next
Okay, 'cause
meeting
I'm
and
about to
we'll.
say,
Okay.
I haven't seen them.
All right. Next on the agenda is the parental ordinance, and I know the mayor at the last council meeting asked us to review this. And since the mayor is here, I was wondering if you could elaborate on any kind of specifics that you wanted us to address in this. Did you have any recommendations that you wanted to alter, or I'm just looking for some kind of guideposts on what your expectation was for the modifications.
I just wanted to make sure that the actual legislation is written is being enforced that way, and if it's beneficial. If there's anything in that particular resolution that needs to be changed and or altered to meet the needs of what it is that we want to do. I did receive an email, I think council was on it as well.
From Lieutenant Cheney.
Yes, saying that they do enforce it, but there are like stipulations and guidelines that lead up to an enforcement. I'm not sure. Again, I can't remember all of the details, and I looked through my paper ordinances that I have. I believe it's probably down at the 1,500. It's not in what I have now.
Madam Chair.
The new ordinance, not the new ordinance, the original one. And as I stated before, there's a couple more communities up north.
There are copies on all our desks, so
Okay.
I'm assuming Interim Chief Cheney printed them and gave them to us.
No, ma'am.
Okay.
That was me.
Okay, somebody put them here.
Yeah, well, that's what I was asking to speak. Madam Chair.
I'm sorry, I didn't know if she was finished.
Yeah, I didn't either.
So that was those were just, I'm sorry, I forgot my ear. What I was looking for to make sure that it is being utilized and or enforced, just based on some of the calls that I get. I will say I am an advocate for kids going outside to play. But if they're breaking curfew and if they're doing other things, then it becomes an issue. So is that our responsibility, or is it that of the parent, or both?
Mr. Wilson.
Madam Chair, so I did provide the council with copies, and for those in the audience, I also made an additional copy for anyone that would like to see this ordinance. I have been reviewing it since it was brought to our attention. I mean, I at this point, Madam Mayor, if you allow us a chance to review this and see what it is that we can do to implement, or see if Chief Cheney and them can implement some of these rules and regulations inside this ordinance. Like I said, just please allow me the time to look at it and discuss it with the Chair of Public Safety.
I mean, and Madam Chair, if anything in there, I'm not sure if something needs to be changed and or added. If I think anything, I think some additions need to happen.
Hand that to Ms. Carrington.
I actually have it right here.
Okay, well,
What
would you like
types
a hard
of
copy?
what types
Okay,
of additions do
She
you
has hers.
are you
Hers on it.
recommending?
I need to see it. because
Well, here you go. Here you go, Mayor.
I guess the one point that I'd like to emphasize or even overemphasize, if I may, is if it's not being utilized and it's not being enforced, you do understand that neither of those items fall within the domain of council. That is all within
I
your
absolutely do
domain.
understand that.
Okay.
But this is a piece of legislation that I want you to understand that council came up with. So this is something that council wanted. I'm not sure if it was before your tenure, but this was something that council wanted. So if there are things in here, so what I feel like I hear that you're saying is that you're okay with it. So maybe there are some things in here that maybe need to be adjusted, because I'm looking at E, number 2.
Are you on the 50199 or
I am.
on 50915?
99.
Okay.
You talk about penalties, that it's a misdemeanor.
You said E2?
Yes. Are these realistic things? I'm not sure if all of them are. That's just my opinion. I don't know if anyone has served jail time based off the actions of their children.
Madam Chair.
Mr. Wilson?
Well, Madam Mayor, it's been seen that parents can now be held responsible for their children's conduct. So, with that being said, I think we probably do need to review this more, because if it's something that we're not doing now, it's not effective.
Madam Mayor, you said that you were receiving reports. Are there any specifics that you would like us to lean towards? Is it more in the type of penalties that you want to adjust, or is it more in?
So I guess overall, does this piece of legislation, does it do what we want it to do?
Right.
So when I get calls from people, citizens, that says, hey, it's a group of kids over here, they're jumping someone, fighting someone, trying to assault elderly people, I automatically go back to this. We call the police take action, they scatter. But if you find out who those kids are, you know, you can press charges and do whatever. So that's the first time. The next time they do it. I understand that this has steps. So do we want to continue? I'm just simply asking, this piece of legislation was asked of by council. Is there something in here that needs to be critiqued and or changed? Or even if it's nothing at all, if it's nothing at all, then we go back to the email that says that there is some enforcement. But I think the enforcement is based off of the criteria that's in this actual legislation. Does it need to be lengthened? Does it need to be shortened? How many strikes do you get? I'll use the word strikes. How many chances do you get? The first time you get to jump Ms. Brooks on the street, and then you're just cited to court.
Right.
Then you jump Ms. Curitan.
Right. A week later.
And so,
Right.
so the way that I understand it, you get so many opportunities before your parent is charged. And in some cases, those aren't misdemeanors, they're felonies. So if it's not council's desire to review it, we'll continue as is.
I don't believe that's what I said. I was looking for some type of guardrails to know what you were looking for, because I have not heard people call me and say that things were happening that wasn't being addressed on here. So I guess that's kind of what I was looking for, is where.
So are you
where
saying
do you
because
see-
they didn't
Where
call
do you see
you?
the pitfall? I don't know where the pitfalls are, so
Okay.
that's what I'm trying to get those details from you to know what to even look for in this. And I know you said that council eons ago approved this, but I'm sure a lawyer wrote this. There was not anyone on the council at that time that wrote it. So, a lawyer would have to review it again too. And I'm also seeing in this email from Mr. Cheney that, it almost sounds as if our city solicitor should, be in talks with our city prosecutor to try to firm up some of the loopholes that might be in this. At least that's what this email would almost lead me to. So it seems like maybe those two need to put their minds together to help figure it out, so that it's a more enforceable document. I don't know how that happens. Or do we have the authority to do that? Or
Well-
do you have, I don't know who does. If you tell me I do, I'll make it happen.
So, I'm not sure if our law director was on that email. I can't recall. I don't
No,
believe
He was not.
no, he wasn't.
I don't believe he was. We can start there to have him review to see. And just, I just want to say this. You said you don't get calls, but I'm sure some of the calls you get, I don't get, and vice versa. So, and I'll just put it out here. I got a call a week ago about a group of kids over here trying to jump an elderly lady at right outside of one of our stores. And it made me think, wow. So you called me, but did you call the authorities? Because if I come, which I will, they may try to jump me too. So, just those are the type of things that I'm thinking, how does this piece of legislation, because for me, that's not a 2-time, 3-time, that's a 1-time.
Yeah.
That's a 1-time. So that's my thing. Are there things in here that needs to be changed? So, as I stated, that's not the first time we arrest you, take you home, that's your first charge. If you're trying to assault an elderly person and there are a group of you, then that's like a one strike you out. So I don't know if do we need legislation? I don't know how we would do that just for kids in those particular situations. A no tolerance
Madam Chair.
resolution or ordinance.
Yes, Mr. Wilson?
So as I'm looking at ordinance, I apologize, Mayor Nichols. So as I'm looking at ordinance 509.15, parental responsibility, here, if I'm correct, it says here, so upon the third violation of this charter, the violation is a misdemeanor of the 3rd degree. Like, I'm almost lost here because I'm trying to see. I see where Mayor Nichols and Chief Cheney will have the problems here when it comes to these ordinance. I mean, it almost this. Inside the same ordinance, it ties their hands. And then they have to play catch up because these individuals get away and then it almost, it don't go anywhere. So I believe we need to review these seriously.
All right, here's what I'm going to do. I am going to talk with the chair of this committee, Ms. Underwood, who also happens to be a lawyer. And I'm going to have, her and I are going to put our heads together and see if we can get the city solicitor and the prosecutor, and we're going to all put our heads together and see what we can do. Is that Is that acceptable?
Yeah, and I think it is, but we all know that the enforcement as well comes.
And you're exactly right. I mean, we can put whatever we want on a piece of paper, but that doesn't help that elderly woman that's standing in front of that store. Right? I mean, that's where the enforcement comes in.
And that's what I'm trying to, I hate to say no tolerance, but it needs to be a no tolerance for particular things, for certain situations.
Okay. We will look into that further. All right, we've only got 10 minutes left. So, let's talk about the comprehensive plan. Next on our agenda is the North College Hill Comprehensive Plan. And boy, is it a daunting, I want to show this to the camera. What camera are we on? This is a monster document, right?
Man, I've been looking at it all.
So,
Crazy.
I just want to point out,
It's not small.
this is, what is the last page? It's like a 144-page document. So, we're going to take a little bite out of it, and then we're going to keep taking bites out of it, because we're not going to get through this in any time like tonight, right? So I see Ms. Brooks is in the audience, and I know that you're the one who's politely been requesting that council take the time to read this 144-page document. Do you have any encouraging words? Do you have any highlights where you would like us to start this process?
This is my first.
I'm going to need you to go to a microphone.
Speak to the mic.
Thank you.
Do I need to say my address? Andrea Brooks, 4 Beach Knoll Drive. I'm part of Planning Commission. And yes, just wanted to be a support to encourage council to take bites out of this daunting document. And maybe I'd like to start with a question. This is my first committee meeting. So this back end of how you guys come up with ordinance or just what you discuss, how they run, this is all brand new to me. So forgive any ignorance I have of your process or purpose. But to me,
Ms. Brooks, could I hold you right there for a quick second?
Sure.
I just want to point out that I don't think there's anyone in this room, as the document states, the last one that was done for this city was in 2008.
Yeah.
So there's nobody in this room that has any experience doing this. So we are all learning as we go along. So you got all the grace you need, because
Okay.
we're going to all need it. How's
Even
that?
better. So in trying to make sure that I understand what next steps are for, or I guess the current goalpost for the approval of the comprehensive plan, my understanding is, it's not my understanding, this is actually my question, to discuss it in committee meetings. It gets assigned. It's my understanding it was going to go to rules and public policy.
That's where it is now.
Yes. But when it comes to the approval, do you guys, when you decide as council as a whole, or is it just a committee that will decide, yes, we approve it, or no, we don't? How will that work?
So because it's assigned to this committee,
Yeah.
this committee will review it. If we see anything that we disagree with, we would make recommendations,
Okay.
I guess. That's the way I would, again, I'm learning this process the same, so I'm kind of winging this. I would think that we would make any recommended changes, and then after the committee approves that, I'll use the term final product,
Yeah.
we would then recommend it going over to the city council agenda,
Okay.
and there would be legislation written for it by the city attorney, and
Okay.
then this would be the attached document, and then council as a whole would have to vote for it, and it
Okay.
would have to pass by a majority of 4.
Okay. That's helpful. So this is really broken out into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different categories, right? And it could touch various or be of specific interest to certain committees, right? So if you think about this document, this is how it's been explained to me, and also my understanding of it. This is, while it has some suggestions, and it talks about it in the introduction, like how to look at this document, if there are suggestions or case studies that are mentioned in here to kind of outline possibilities, this is a book of suggestions, right? For lack of a better phrase, the devil is in the details. What happens should you approve this, even if you were to approve this as is? The actual decisions about certain sites, where you're going to do things, financing, all of that, the order, what you prioritize as far as the 7 different sections in each of the things that are listed or recommended within each of these 7 different categories, those are going to be details that are fleshed out by in cooperation with the city, with council, CIC, Planning Commission. There are some cooperative efforts. So when you look at this plan, it doesn't mean, hey, if I approve this, I say I want a future city or civic center to be located here. So when you're looking at approval or not approval, look at this document as, I would like additional, this is a possibility, additional suggestions, or this is a particular issue that's major for our city and I don't see it addressed. I'd like it to be addressed in here. Don't forget, this is like a 20-year plan, right? Overall. So there is so much possibility in here. And again, my understanding is because of the cooperative effort that it's going to take, and even, I love some of the recommendations it even has for council, right? To create a team environment and some cohesiveness and some leadership, maybe training. I think it was Leadership Academy or something like that. I love that it outlined so many opportunities for improvement. While it does note some concerns of citizens or maybe some less than positive things that may be the sentiments of residents or about things from the city from the past, what I like to do and where I would like to come from and have people focus on is these opportunities for collaboration and for making improvements. So it doesn't have to be as daunting or scary to make the decisions about approving something or not approving something as saying, this will be done, this will be done. These are suggestions. Do you agree with these suggestions? Do you need more? Do you want to take something out? So even though it's daunting at this stage, all of those major decisions, concerted efforts with research, with maybe collaboration with various parties, those details will be fleshed out, is my understanding of how things are going to go. So that's what I wanted to say about the plan. I believe in talking to our city administrator, she is going to, I think, address council. I had a conversation with her about explaining the generality of this plan, right? And I said, I think in talking to several people or different various people, there is a misconception that, hey, if it's in here, I agree to how it's written. And no, again, suggestions. I did talk to someone from one of the, I don't think he works for Urban Fast Forward, Jeff Racer. And he wasn't able to come tonight. And I told him I thought it would be a little premature to come be available as a consultant to answer any questions at this point. But I think they are, Urban Fast Forward, I know they are willing. I don't know if they're going to show up later because I talked to Jeff last night also. And he said, while he wasn't able to make it and understood my desire or my recommendation that it wasn't really necessary for him to be there, he did mention he thought 2 other folks were going to be here. I don't know who had a conversation with those 2 other folks and if they're coming to a different meeting. I'm not sure what that looks like. So I would say from here, unless Mayor Nichols has some additional information that's been reported from Ms. Chamberlain, right? Chamberlain? Okay. Unless she has any additional information, we're just at general stages. So I hope that takes some of the pressure off because there are great suggestions and some are really overwhelming. Like I felt even as I was rereading it, I'm not an expert in this. Is that doable? Well, when would you do? And that's why I say it's going to be a joint effort with a level of expertise that gets pulled in at different places. One of the things I will say too is that it looks like one of the places they have in the implementation section some recommendations about where to start as far as implementation, like maybe getting funding or maybe CIC, or don't quote me on that, but there is a chart that outlines implementation. So that's what I got.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I will tell you, I have not completed reading the whole thing. I have full confession. I've gotten through most of it. I was trying to, as I was looking through this, I was trying to see, again, back to the bites, taking bites out of this. I was trying to see if maybe there were ways to divvy up those 7 topics that you were, to maybe kind of divide it into different committees so that we could take bigger bites out at a time. But even in the one that talks about the section 1 that talks about the community building, which I thought could fall under the finance, because finance is kind of looking at that anyhow. But then it also talks about parks, so then that would lead into parks and recreation. So I couldn't even find a clear line to say this section could go into this committee instead. So I tried, but I failed. Absolutely.
Yes.
If you want anyone to hear it besides the people in this room, yep.
Okay, so really quickly, you're absolutely right. There is a lot of crossover. And I think everybody processes things differently, but for me, I think it was very important that I read it. I didn't read all the appendices, right? So literally, it's like 70-something pages. I would say to start, I recommend no matter what committee you're on, everyone has a general overview, and that you really try not to skim it, to literally read it. And so I just put little sticky notes or things, or was highlighting things that were of particular interest to me or I had questions about. So my suggestion is, as each council member reads this, the part that I would highlight and then dog ear or mark or one of these little sticky things, put that in the section that you think is relevant to your particular committee. And then you can break it down. But I think it is very important that you have the big picture. No one's going to ask you to write a report. No one's going to ask you to regurgitate it at this point. But I think it is important to literally look at especially each section. And again, you don't have to regurgitate, but being aware and taking your own notes with your own focus as you go along, if that makes sense.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I appreciate that input. All right. Obviously, it's just you and I here tonight, so I think we're probably going to have to kick this can a little bit further down the road.
Listen, because
I know.
I think we just got to all come together, because I read the whole thing front to back, and you not going to tell me. The way I feel about it is that plan is a community development plan, but it's a lot of parts in there that has other committees in there, but it's still a community development plan. The comprehensive plan is about developing our community and moving it towards the future. So I just have to wait my turn and see how I go.
All right. Next on our agenda, we have old business, and I know I'm flying through this now because we are over time. I don't have any old business. Do you have any old business we need to address?
No, ma'am.
Okay. New business. The one thing that I wanted to point out, and I see other council members in the audience, there was an email that was sent out about certified public records training that the state auditor is going to put on. It's going to be on December the 10th, and it is a virtual class. I know I am not the city attorney, but that is a mandated course for everyone to go to. So please, if you can't make that one on December 10th, please make sure you get to one.
Madam Chair,
Sir?
correct me if I'm wrong, do we have to wait till the 10th? Can't we watch it already?
I didn't look into the details of that, but all I know is it says it's on December. The email that I got says it's on December 10th.
Okay, then, thank you.
Yep. And if anyone needs that, please let me know, and I will be happy to send that to you. All right, other action items. My action items are, I'm going to get with Ms. Underwood and Mr. Dieters and the prosecutor to talk about the parental ordinance. We also have on here the audience questions as time permits. I think we're out of time unless anyone has something super, super pressing. Nope.
Madam Chair, if I could, just really quickly. When you said you're going, I heard you, but maybe if you start with Mr. Dieters, because I'm not sure if it's reaching the level of the prosecutor just yet. So I guess if you're looking to see how they prosecuted, but I'm not sure that it's reaching them. I guess that might be part of my concern, if that's
So
a concern.
you don't think anyone's ever even getting to the prosecutor's office? Is that what you're saying?
I don't think, I could be wrong, but from the feedback that I was getting, I don't know that
You
they
know where I'm
are.
going to go with that? That goes back to the enforcement. That's back in your court.
Which is what, yeah.
Just so you know.
Right.
All right.
That's right.
All right.
I don't want to say waste your time, but I don't know.
We barking up the right tree.
All right. Then it is 6:39. We are over schedule, and I'm going to adjourn.
Out of the dots and dashes along the binary code, the time is now 6:40 p.m. and we are now beginning the North College Hill City Council Public Safety Committee. I've got an agenda. It is on this back chair over here if you need one. Oh, wait, my bad. Okay. And let me get a couple more. There you go. I just need one. Alrighty, in regards to minutes from the last meeting, I'll admit I'm behind on that. That'll be taken care of on the next meeting. So let's move forward to the police department updates. If you've got a copy of the agenda, that's on page 3. So page 3 for the month of October, Chief Cheney reports 925 calls for service, 695 daily activities. That's 52 service calls a day and 13 calls for service for each officer per shift. And that 38 traffic accidents, that's actually lower than the last month. So maybe our drivers are getting better, doing a few things safer. You know, that might mean some of these speed humps and knowing those not cameras, but knowing that we're monitoring that better, knowing that that's putting some work in. Okay, in lieu of a presence from Chief Plackey, we've also got a report from the fire department. That's available on page 2 of your agenda. Page 2 of the agenda says that we've reached 200. That the fire department responded to 235 incidents in the month of October. 169 EMS calls, and they're currently on pace to exceed the 2023 run volume of 2,952 incidents and calls and services. They're currently getting ready to pass 2,500 for the year. In regards to apparatus maintenance, the 2019 ambulance repairs will be completed and will be back in service before the end of the month. Training, Unit 1 and 2 participated in live burn training with our mutual aid partners at Colerain Township. And the new fire engine that many of us have seen, it's large, shiny, it's extremely functional, and it is projected to be in service by the end of November. Now, in regards to our Public Works Department, this is not my fault, not Mr. Huffman's fault. I responded to him too late to get a proper report, but I can attest that they're doing work. We've got new speed humps in the southwest quadrant. I know it's one on Sundale by Parish. There's one on DeArmond, and I believe there's one. I believe they're putting one up by Savannah, but I'm not 100% sure if it's up yet. So I know that they're working. I know that they're currently working on that. Let's see. And bear with me 1 second going next down to this recommendations from Planning Commission. So I want to say, it was either late September or early October, the Planning Commission had a set of recommendations of things that they'd like to see done. And among those recommendations was, and bear with me for about 45 seconds so I can pull it up, read it correctly without stuttering. Hold on. Okay. So one of the recommendations, specifically recommendation number 6, was to revise the current citation policy to be similar to parking violations. And additionally, they asked for the creation of a property maintenance court that convenes more often than regular municipal and mayor's court, and is held to hear strictly property maintenance cases that wish to contest a citation. Their reasoning is stated that so the property maintenance issues can be addressed and disposed of quickly, that therefore avoiding a potentially blighted neighborhood. I am looking. There's another one here. Where is it? Okay. And they're recommending the creation of a vacant building license for any commercial or residential building that's been vacant for more than 4 months with no apparent/documented proof that an effort has been made by the owner to remedy the vacant status of the building. If the building is maintained as per required, hold on, wait a minute. Okay, yes. So the beginning of this vacant building license, in the creation of these vacant building licenses, what turns this into a public safety issue is if they continue past the license time, there will be a punishment or a fee, which is what we need to discuss. Which is what we need to discuss. What should we be looking at in regards to this fee, and how we go about implementing and beginning a court? I asked for the guidance of some of our veterans and some of the people in the audience. Like, how would we go forth with that? What would that look like? Any, where'd I lose y'all? Where'd I lose y'all? I can rewind back. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm trying to, I have the document pulled up.
Okay.
Which one were you?
I'm currently on number 3, the vacant building license. Because Cause I'm going back and forth between the vacant building license and the creation of a property maintenance court.
So I had to say that I really like the idea of both of those.
Okay.
As far as how to implement it, I think we just come up with, we've been using this word a lot tonight, the general guardrails that we'd like to see within it, and then send those recommendations to the law director. And the law director actually writes the legislation that would formulate the
Okay.
document. We, I think, could come up with the penalties. We could make them graduating penalties, similar to the parental ordinance. You know, first offense is $10, second offense is $20, third offense is $30, kind of thing.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
I don't want to do a penalty level. See, penalty level ain't gonna do nothing but cause these individuals to continue lacking on their property if you do a level. Because if it's $100, and somebody probably don't have a problem paying that $100. But if you hit them with the fine that it's going to be right off the top, we ain't gonna ask no questions. That's the fine you got. Keep your property up. Why should we get? That's our problem now. We're giving too many leeways, and people are finding loopholes through our legislation, and it's not, it's not serving the purpose that we put the legislation in place for. We can't keep
I
doing
don't
that.
have a problem with that either. I was
We
just
just
making a
can't keep doing.
suggestion.
I'm just saying we can't keep doing that.
Well, I mean, the rationale behind it could be you could pay the city $1,000 fine, or you could put $1,000 into your property,
And it works for me.
right?
It works for me.
So which one do you, as the property owner, what do you see a bigger benefit in?
Exactly. Putting it in, right. Because what we want to do, because we never want to be about punishment. We're trying to ensure compliance. What we're trying to do is go people into compliance, into being able to fix the yards up the way that we want to see, into being able to fix the gutters. And as she said,
So to that end, though, would we want to have a first warning
Mr.
to
Chair.
say, this is your warning. If this isn't fixed in 30 days, then that $1,000 goes to the city instead of to your gutters.
right.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir.
So I would suggest that we send out a warning prior to the fine being implemented to the homeowner. We give them a notification that if this property is not brought up to standard, then within this allotted time, then you will get the $1,000 fine. If we
I
keep.
thought that's what I said. Did I say it? Did I not?
No,
right.
I think you said we wanted to send out a warning, you know what I'm saying, and to inform them, okay, so the second warning, the third, no, we don't want to keep doing that. We want to send out one warning to the property owner so they can have enough time to make the adjustments that they need to make before they are assessed the full penalty. I'm just saying, we got to find a way to stop allowing people to send us through these and that hoops. And then we got constituents coming in here and saying, hey, that's not working. We can't keep doing that.
Now one thing I will say, if we're talking about a warning and a time to get to compliance,
Yeah.
now that's something I want graduated, because like I just say, I'm just pulling this out the air, let's say the commercial landlords and out of state / absentee landlords, they have 30 days to bring things into compliance before we start talking about fines, regulatory action. Local landlords, let's say they have 90 days to bring things into compliance before we start looking at action. And homeowners, live-in homeowners, let's say we say something like 180 days, just because honestly, we're not trying to be punitive for people who may have fallen down on their luck. For a homeowner who normally cuts his grass, but he broke his leg, now he can't cut his grass this summer. We're not trying to be overly punitive. Our goal is always to ensure compliance. Our goal is just trying to get people compliant.
So I want to make sure that I'm sorry, I should have been saying, Mr. Chair, forgive me.
I'm not Robert. I don't have any rules or orders.
I'm sorry.
I'm not Robert.
All right. So I'd like to bring us back, though, that this specific recommendation is for vacant buildings. We're not talking about grass right now. We're not talking about gutters right now. We're talking about vacant, empty properties that are falling in disarray. That is the specific recommendation.
Right.
And I think we're going down a rabbit hole and kind of off of what that recommendation was.
Right. Because I think there's you've got a point. Because I think I'm still conflating this with that property maintenance court. Because that's my biggest worry. I didn't like when it comes to the creation of a court, because honestly that's one of those things where I'm new to this, so I don't know exactly how we create a court from whole cloth. So maybe that's just where getting back to this, we can absolutely, like, I don't have anything against adopting this regulation. That is regulation 3, correct?
Yes.
Yes. Adopt regulation 3 in full. And in regards to this property maintenance program being under the supervision of the public works director, that's something I'd absolutely have to ask Dave and his guys who are already who already are overworked and underpaid. So
I think we just gave them a good raise. I'm not so sure they're as.
Under is subjective.
Yeah,
They
well,
do they
obviously,
be on business.
We're all underpaid, aren't we?
Could you say that again?
Yes,
Louder
please
for
say that
the
into the microphone. And so what do we have to do, and what would our further work go for? What would our further work be in the creation of this property maintenance court? How do we how do we go about that? Like, what guidance or what guidelines would we go to when it comes to doing such as that? Like, how was the mayor's court created for traffic issues and so on and so forth? I'm legitimately asking because I don't know.
It was
Mr. Chair.
way before I
Yes,
mean,
sir.
I would imagine that was way back in the charter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Chair.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's just,
So I would think, it comes down to the municipality, right? So, don't we already have an eviction court here in Mayor's Court? Or is it at Hamilton County?
I'm pretty sure we send that to Hamilton County.
Downtown County. So
Okay.
I think we probably have to start reaching out to our
Okay.
law director, see what he
Okay.
tells us.
Okay, I can. So the next move on that is get with the law director and research precedents.
Yes, sir.
Got to say the words correctly. They can hear us in internet land.
No, I'm sorry, I'm moving to the next word where it says increase the number of property maintenance officers to 2. I don't know that we have any right now.
Yeah, I was about. Oh, okay. Yeah, because
Do we?
long story. Rest in peace, Doug.
Is that being actively pursued? Like, have you posted the position or anything?
All right. What's happening, Brother Walter?
Okay.
All right.
Okay,
Okay.
so it has not been posted. So maybe that's something that we can discuss when we get to the 2025 salary ordinance. Maybe we'll
Okay.
kind of address it there.
Okay.
If they don't,
We got another salary ordinance coming up?
what's the end of the year? So, yeah. It's just that we take so long to do it that it's done at the end of the
Oh, I
year.
got you,
It's
okay.
supposed to be done in January of every year or in late December.
Okay.
Every year? I thought it was every 2 years.
For the city employees, it's every year.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay. All righty. So right now so just making sure our next priority is researching the precedents of a property maintenance court and figuring out the parameters. So is that something we're allowed to do through email? Trying to make sure I follow all the rules on this.
I would say yes.
Okay.
Anything can be sent originally in email. The problem with email, the way I understand it, is the back and forth.
Okay.
And you alone can back and forth all you want with the city lawyer.
Right.
It's when
All of us.
Mr. Wilson and Ms. Gaston and myself, when we're all on it, then it looks like a meeting.
Correct.
All right. Watching
You
with the CCs.
individually can send as many as you want back and forth in email.
Okay. All righty, and with that, okay. So there'll be more to come when it comes to the adoption and creation upon that. So let's run down old business. Do we have any old business? And in regards to new business, I think we just made some, but
I would like to make one
Yes, ma'am.
point of order. You do not have Ms. Gaston listed as a member of this
I sincerely apologize.
Problem.
All right, that'll be remedied going forward. And do we have any other questions? All right. Thank y'all. The time is now 7:01, and this will conclude the Public Safety Committee meeting for November 12th. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Community Recreation and Development meeting. I'd like to start at 7:06. All right, so our recreational, apologize. So our recreational report will not be given today. Annalise did notify me that she will not be able to make it in due to a conflict of schedule. So we won't have that recreational report probably till next time. Number 2, trash cans. Mr. Hoffman is gone on vacation, so I don't have a real update for that. So we will move on to number 3, which is the Food Truck Friday. Again, ladies and gentlemen, Food Truck Friday is back every first and third Friday of each month at the West Galbert location, 1500 West Galbert. Ladies and gentlemen out there in the world, if you would like to participate and you have a food truck and you would like to participate in our Food Truck Fridays, all you have to do is email me at vwilson@northcollegehill.org to schedule an opportunity to come out and showcase your truck. Again, that's vwilson@northcollegehill.org, and you do have to email me to schedule being at the Food Truck Friday with your truck. Any questions on the Food Truck Friday?
No, we're good. All
right, we will move on to the Party in the Park. Again, ladies and gentlemen, we're still working on the party in the park. We're putting all the logistics together to make this happen. It will be 2025 that this party in the park will happen. I'm hopefully that I can have a scheduled date for the party in the park by March 2025. So we will look forward to finding that date and continuing moving forward towards party in the park. Any questions?
Chair, Mr. Chair. I know
Yes,
you're
Ms.
still
Alexander.
working on logistics and everything. Are you trying to make it like a all-day thing or just a couple hours?
So again, correct. You're correct. We're still working on the logistics. so trust and believe me, I will keep everybody informed as we work it out. But we are planning this party in the park.
Would you like people to email you if they're like vendors or they have like
If you're
bouncy
interested,
houses?
if you're
or-
interested in participating in party in the park, whether it be like she said, vendors, bounce houses, or any booth that you would like to set up at the park, you do need to email me. vwilson@northcollegehill.org. That's vwilson@northcollegehill.org. Any more questions? All right, we will move on to number 5, which is the fireworks show, July 3rd, 2025. Let me tell you guys, as far as an update, is I am very excited. I have had a lot of commitment from a lot of my business owners, local business owners. They are committed to making this happen, and I truly thank them. Anyone that's interested in donating anything for fireworks show, July 3rd, 2025, please, whatever donation you would like to send, please address it to North College Hill with put July 3rd, 2025 fireworks show. So that way, whoever receives it in the North College Hill office will know where it needs to go.
I have so many questions about this.
Go ahead.
So what location are you planning on having that?
So so the locations, a couple of locations was brought to our attention by Chief Plackey. And I don't think, I'm not for sure if they determined which exact one, but I know they did pick one. I just can't remember what it was, what the location was. I have to go back and double check, but I believe they did pick one.
So the fire chief and the police chief are in coordination with choosing this location.
So I don't know if the police chief is in coordination, but the fire chief had brought it up to us, and I just can't think of the location he had said. But the fire chief had suggested a location that he felt was a good location for us to have this at. And so I will reach back out to him to double check that location. But I do believe it's a school on North College Hill public school property.
So you're working with the school district to get
Yes, I
permission.
did speak to Mr. Blaylock. So he was all aboard for it. Like I said,
You're getting that in writing.
Yes, so I did speak to Mr. Blaylock. He is all aboard for it, and like I said, I believe that I just can't remember the name of the location that they said that they
Would it be
wanted
Becker
to use.
School?
I'm not for sure, ma'am. I cannot lie
right.
to you.
right.
So, but any more questions?
Yes. So you said you have a lot of businesses. Are they, I'm assuming, donating cash? Like, are these monetary donations? Are they donating fireworks? What are they donating?
So they're donating
Services?
They're
What?
donating funds to purchase the fireworks for the show itself. So that's what they're donating.
Okay. Who is setting off the fireworks?
That will be,
Hiring a vendor to do that, I hope?
if we
Someone who is
hire, if we
certified and knows
hire a
what they're
vendor,
doing.
but I believe we have someone in the fire department here that can do so for us. So, I mean, we have some options to get this set out, but but we're working on it, on all the details. But we have, like I said, we either use the vendor or we'll use our firefighter that's certified to do so here. So we have a firefighter in North College Hill that's certified to let these fireworks off.
Okay.
Any more questions?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
as far as the location, do you think that at the next committee meeting that we can have that location? Just so that we can have it on record, or potential?
I can actually send you guys out the location once I reach out to Chief Plackey and find out, get him to refresh my memory on the location, and I will email it to you. We don't have to wait till no meeting to get that.
That's excellent. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Any more questions?
I would only like to point out that, obviously, I don't know where that location is, but wherever it is, there are going to be residents that live close by. And as we all know, a lot of our residents suffer from PTSD from the bangs. So I would like to make sure that if we're going to do this, that we send out ample notice to anyone living close that they may want to make other arrangements to not be in their home that night, or to make other type of, I don't even know what accommodations they could possibly need, but whatever it is, I want to make sure that our residents that are in close proximity are well aware that this is going to happen next to their house, and they're going to hear it. I think that's the only respectful thing to do for our residents.
So, just to, I'm definitely gonna make sure because I plan on making some noise on the 3rd. So all my residents will know. I'm not gonna leave nobody out. I want to make sure everybody know. So those who are suffering from PTSD or that don't like loud noises, you will be notified in enough time.
Okay.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
how far in advance would you like the neighbors to know that this is going to happen?
So, considering that we've been talking about it for the last, 6 months, 7 months, and I plan on making sure everyone know come January 1st, we still plan on having this 4th of July, July 3rd fireworks show. So, I will do everything I can to reiterate those come July, but I plan on putting this information out all year long so so North College Hill can show up. I want you guys to show up and enjoy yourselves.
Okay, so we would need literature. We can work together on that to make sure that's set
Works for
down.
me. Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Chair, I was going to suggest possibly, one avenue could be putting it in the newsletter, start putting it in now, saying that this is in the works. And just like how Ms. Clear has flyers posted, here in the senior center and at Kroger's and at the library, just, leading up to it and constantly placing it, I don't know how many times we're going to have that newsletter between now and then, but a full, big, just like how you want the fireworks to be big, whether a page, boom, it's coming, and putting that disclaimer on there so that people who are even looking at it might not even trigger to them like, hey, I know my neighbor has this. They might not look at their mail quite often, but putting even a disclaimer for those who, have sensory issues.
Yep.
Alert your neighbors, because everyone doesn't look at their mail. That newsletter comes folded up. They might not look at it until, a week and a half later, or they might not look at it at all. So a neighbor might be able to. So that's just my suggestion.
Yeah, there are those of us who love fireworks, and there are those of us who do not.
Very true.
And I just want to be respectful of those who do not.
and that's understandable. And I'm going to be respectful of those who don't. Also, like I said, this show is not about anything other than bringing North College Hill together. So that's our goal. I apologize if it's a little noise that come with it, but hey, I'd rather see us out there mingling and talking to each other, and folks talking about, man, did you see that light show? Did you see the fireworks show? And be looking forward to 2026.
Mr. Chair, one more thing. Maybe
ahead.
we can contact Mount Healthy to see what they do. I mean, I know they have like banners. I don't know if we can have a banner up at Walgreens.
That's
Like
excellent.
prior to, and maybe to reach out to, like I said, Mount Healthy to see if they alert, or, I don't know, if we could ask Walgreens, can we put something on their little light thing, or, but, maybe a banner right there, at the intersection, where we know that, it's pretty visible, prior to it happening, not like the weekend of, but just
Well-
to give people a heads up. Maybe the school, maybe the
Well,
school sign.
just to ensure you guys, it's going to be advertisement all year round because this is our first one. We've never done this here in North College Hill before.
Yes, we have.
I don't recall it.
The
So
Fireman's Festival used to have fireworks.
yeah, okay, but I don't recall it. And the thing is that I want to make sure that this one is, first impression is everything. So I'm definitely, we will be advertising it. It will be known. If I got to drop a flyer on every car that live in North College Hill, I will. It will be known that we are having a fireworks show July 3rd. Any more questions? All right, well, we're going to move on to number 6 for the reason I had our school AD show up today. Appreciate it. Thank you for coming
Thanks,
in
Brother Walter.
today. I mean, truly, this plays a big role. So we're in the process of starting a North College Hill Sports League. The goal is the youth first. We will move eventually to adults, but right now we're focused on the youth here. I want to get more activities going on. And the reason I asked y'all here, because I would like to talk with y'all about our league using school facilities, as far as, hosting these games. So we wanted to bring y'all in now. Ladies and gentlemen of my committee, sorry, sir, just give me a second here. I apologize, but I want to set a special meeting for November 19th. It will be from 6 to 8. They give us 2 hours to cover this league so we could sit down and talk more in depth. That is the reason why I haven't sent you out the plan yet. The plan is there, but we wanted to, I wanted to make sure I had all my ducks in a row before I sent it out to you, and then also sit down and talk with North College Hill School because, without you guys, it's going to be hard to make this happen, and we really need you guys on our team. So we want to talk with y'all. I'm sure y'all on the same page we on as far as recreation for these kids, and that's what we want to change here. My goal is to keep North College Hill kids here in North College Hill to play whatever recreational sport they want to play. So, like I said, would you be able to attend that meeting?
Yes.
The 19th?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to look.
Okay.
I do have another meeting that day.
Are you? That's a yes. Okay. Will you be able to attend that?
Yeah, I'll make it work. We have a
I,
scrimmage, but I can make it work. 19 to 6 p.m.
yes. Sir. Okay. Sorry. What was your question? No, you ain't got to. You ain't got to. Okay.
Is there a possibility of, I don't know if that's even a step, but a possibility of a special meeting to look at the comprehensive plan? Should it be? But I feel like while I don't want to take away from the highlights here, and I know everyone, I feel like it's, I don't want to be disrespectful, not a pet project, but a favorite project or a focus or interest that each person has. But I would love to see that amount of energy.
So, Ms. Brooks, I don't want to, I hate to cut you off, and not intentionally. I don't want you to go down a hole that you ain't going to get out of, because Ms. Underwood made it clear that she's not interested in a lot of special meetings. So she wanted to get everything done inside the meetings. So everything, so far I know, as far as the comprehensive plan, reviewing that, Ms. Underwood said that she wanted to do it inside the meeting. So it will be up to her to set any special meetings when it comes to the review of that comprehensive plan, because it's in her committee.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I don't want you to feel slighted, but I think the comprehensive plan is going to take much more than a special meeting because it's so big and robust. I'm not saying that down the line we won't have a special meeting, but like he said, that is Ms. Underwood's committee. So I would like for her to have her input to say that. We're going to have lots of conversations because it's a 20-year plan. Like you said, it's a 20-year plan, and yeah, this is very important. We don't feel that one is more important than the other, but certain things are more quickly attainable than others, and a special meeting is still only going to be, maybe a couple hours or two, and we're going to take those bites out of it. Yeah, not saying that there aren't going to be any special meetings like further down the line, but we still have to digest all of that. So we can't, I think at this time, say, hey, let's have a special meeting, because I read it, and I'm gonna have to read it again, and I'm gonna have to read it again, and it's important to me. It's important to me. The youth are important to me as well, but comprehensive plan, it's so big, and I'm just gonna speak for me. I don't want you to think that I'm not as excited about the comprehensive plan as the youth activity. But just in my perspective and foreseeable future, we have to take small bites out of the plan. This one might be something that's more attainable quicker, and not saying that we're not going to be working on things simultaneously. I don't, I'm just looking at you, and I don't want you to feel like, we're dropping the ball. I do not want you to feel that way.
I don't feel that way, and I appreciate the clarification about the respect for Ms. Underwood and that it's her committee. And again, this is my first time, so my apologies for bringing us probably out of
It's
order
okay.
to bring it up.
That's all right.
But
Well,
yes,
we're here to help each
I
other.
didn't hear
Yeah.
that definition.
And it's not currently in this committee,
Yeah, it's
so
not.
we can't make those decisions in this committee since it's not in our
not our
committee
committee.
at that point. But please don't feel
Like
like we just, that's the stepchild and, we got the favorite and all that. Please don't feel that way. We just know that, well, I know me, that's going to take some intense, I have so many questions about it, and I'm not even on that committee, but, I have so many questions about, like, oh my God, where do we start? But I don't want to go down, like I said, down that rabbit hole when that's not in this committee, but yeah, and we can talk after this.
Right. And Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Okay. And I'll also mention that there are several things within the plan that I believe should be part of our committee. And I've asked about that, but I'll also say that this sports league, this happened to take precedent because we're not often going to be able to get Brother Walton in. So that's one of those where that's one of those where no disrespect intended, but the process is happening. We are going, this will get handled. So
Mr. Chair,
yes.
sorry, one more thing. I'm assuming you're inviting the Recreation Commission to this meeting?
Yes.
Okay. So they've been notified?
Not yet.
Okay.
So just to reiterate, the comprehensive plan is in Erica's committee. So until she divvies it up, and put it in the committees that need to be, we got to wait on her committee to start the conversation. Yes, that's it. That's correct. We have to wait for her to start that. Now she can have, her co-chair start the conversation anytime, but it's in her committee, so she will have to delegate how that is handled from here. All right, and thank you. So again, appreciate it. So like I said, working with the school is a big part of this league's success. You know what I'm saying? And we got to be on the same page, and that's where we want to be at. We want to be on the same page as North College Hill School. So that's why I invited you here to this meeting, and I invite you to the 19th. Yes, ma'am, I will make sure that the Rec Commission is aware. I will have them at the meeting, too. I also will make sure that the Recreation Director is also at the meeting also. I want to make sure that everybody is on the same page as far as moving forward with recreation. This league it's a need. I'm witnessing kids, that live here leave our community to play somewhere else, and it's not like they want to. They don't have an option because there's no options here, and we want to change that. So that's the reason I drug you into this meeting and asked you to show up, and I appreciate you giving me your time, sir. We got to get on the same page. So I want to be on your page, sir. All right. Any questions? Yes, Madam Mayor.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sir.
I wasn't gonna let you leave without going up there.
Rayshawn Walton, Athletic Director, North College Hill City Schools. Definitely want to get on the same page with this. I played football all the way through college, and the importance of having a little league team, very important. A lot of the schools that surround us already have this in place, and we have surrounding schools around us that are open enrollment that kind of snatch our kids away. So we got to find a way to keep North College Hill kids at North College Hill.
Yes, sir.
Through the youth and all the way through senior year of high school. So that's always my goal. And that's my goal is not just for football, but for every sport to have this. So that's my 2 cents. Myself and Dr. Blaylock have always already thought about, creative plans and ways to, kind of start this program, this league for the betterment of our kids. So that's always the goal. Did I have any questions for myself?
Mr. Chair.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. So what would an appropriate feeder system look like for you? Because I believe the teams y'all offer currently is soccer, football, girls volleyball, boys and girls basketball, and also there's a track cross country component.
Yes, sir.
So what would that look like, saying like for the younger kids, like in order to a feeder program for track will be participating in something like Girls on the Run or Black Girls Run. Mm-hmm. A feeder program for our football team would be competing in the Buckeye League or one of these youth leagues.
Yeah.
A North College Hill led feeder team in your soccer, and so on and so forth. Finding leagues where we're competing, where we're getting used to that idea of of North College Hill and Trojans competing from ages 8 to 80.
Yeah.
Cause I can say our seniors, they got a share volleyball team that, hey, I can say this to everybody in TV land. It hurts to get whooped by a senior citizen at a game. And yes, the seniors dog walked us, and they need somewhere to compete with us. I apologize. It's probably the first time we've ever said the word dog walk in a city council meeting. I apologize.
Yeah, so vision-wise, I want to put that Trojan head on our kids as soon as possible. So when they're able to, start walking and running, put that Trojan head on them, that's the easiest recruiting tool, is get to them early. Right. And I would like to have a sports league for ourselves, and that'll be for every sport. So every sport that we offer in high school, in middle school, I would like to offer on the youth side as well. So that's always the goal for me. Also, having our coaches at the high school and middle school level be, just be visual, be around, to where, if you're seeing the high school coach at 5 years old, and then once you get, to that middle school, high school age, that bond has already been built. Mm-hmm. You've been seeing this, person for years, and it's just a smooth transition. So that's always my goal.
Mm-hmm. That means we got to keep the same coach for a few years.
That's always the goal as well. Yes, sir.
Inside joke. I apologize.
Yeah.
So just to let you know, I mean, that's our goal here in the North College Hill League, Sports League. It will cover all the sports that we can offer.
Yeah.
And so that's, like I said, that's why we want to work with you and get on the same page.
Absolutely.
So we could, start off with what we can offer, and then work on building to where we can offer more.
Right.
So
right.
Thank
Absolutely.
you. I
Absolutely.
truly appreciate you taking out your time and coming
always.
to the meeting today. It really helped.
Always.
Call on Madam Mayor. Call on the mayor.
Huh?
Call on Madam Mayor. Call on Madam Mayor.
Oh. I'm sorry.
My bad, bro.
No, I'm sorry, Madam Mayor. Go ahead.
But is there a possibility that if this were to be established, that we could possibly use some of the facilities for some of the activities?
For the league?
Yeah.
So a proper feeder program, that's part of the.
That's how it works.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Well, in some instances, there were situations where it wasn't available or couldn't be available for certain things. So we were looking beyond football.
Yeah, always. So, like I said, I'm always thinking outside of football. I know everyone typically focuses on football, but if we are able to set this up, and for instance, our girls soccer program, it's kind of building up now. We had I think 4 girls 2 years ago, 9 girls last year. Now we're up to about 14. So if we're able to build that, through the youth program, that's always the goal. So a proper feeder program, the facility typically is part of the agreement, and that's everywhere in Cincinnati. So I used to be the AD at Withrow. One of our feeder programs was the Cincinnati Gators. They use our field for free. That's part of the that's just part of it, and we were getting most of their kids. So it's a trade-off. We're
The field down. Okay. That class.
yeah, I would like to have as much on at our stadium as possible.
Because I just know, I don't know if that was a feeder program then, but I do know the kids, most of the kids were from North College schools
Yeah.
and other schools, but we never used their property for any of the games.
Yeah, I'm always for having as many kids at our facilities and stadium courts, all of that good stuff as possible. So I'd rather have them with us than anywhere else.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
You good? All right.
Mr.
Any
Chair?
more questions for the AD?
Yeah, I don't know who it's for. What homework do you need us to do prior to this meeting on the 19th? Any?
I don't need homework.
Okay. So we're just showing up with ideas and questions, or
Absolutely.
we're just showing up, or what?
So-
What are we supposed to do there?
There's typically a framework. Once we get the actual, there's a plan that's already being processed. It's just coming down to the table saying, hey, how can we make this work? We throw out, date-wise, Little League basketball, just picking any random sport, Little League volleyball, whatever we want to call it, typically starts around this time. Will the facility be available from this month to this month? What ages are we going after? Marketing wise, how are we pushing this? So just coming to the table and just trying to put together as many bright ideas as possible for the kids.
Got it. Thank you.
Any more questions? All right, so we will move on to old business. Any old business? See that we don't have any old business, any new business.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I just wanted to throw out the idea of doing yard signs for the community.
For the sports league?
Not for the sports league. This would just
He's
be,
got a one-track mind.
No.
No.
I'm sorry. I apologize, you guys. We were just on this conversation, so
No,
you
it's
have
okay.
to, catch me up to what you're talking about.
so, back in the 90s and even the 80s, in the community, there would be a competition for the best yard. Rather, that would be the best lights during Christmas, the best lights, or
okay
the
then.
Halloween,
Right,
so on
yes,
and so
ma'am.
forth, the best flowers. And I would like to brag. I don't know if Brenda Beverly and Edward Beverly are watching. My parents would always win. And I plan to continue that legacy. But I did a little bit of homework, and to get 100 signs is about $180. And I'm thinking that maybe starting this spring, council would judge people's yards to see who has the best flowers, and then take a picture of the home and have it here at the city or the senior center, so that when people come, they can say, oh, okay, 6525 Baywood Lane, they won best flowers. I like that. That looks nice. Congratulations. When you see them at Kroger, I saw that your yard won best yard. And it's something that is positive. It's something that people can look forward to and work forward to, because in the committee meeting prior to this, we talked about vacancy and making sure the yards are cut. But if there's no incentive and you're just going to punish me, I cannot pay that fine, and it'll just keep growing. But if there is an incentive that, oh, everybody's going to be looking at me, look at my sign in my yard,
Rights.
maybe people will work towards edging and cutting their grass and making sure the leaves are out of their gutters, so on and so forth.
Love that.
Right.
I do
Great
too.
idea.
Okay. Well, I will judge. It's fine. Okay.
Well,
Okay, awesome.
Perfect.
Awesome. That's perfect. Thank you.
I'm down for anything that's gonna bring us together.
I agree. That's all that I have.
That's all you have?
Are there any questions from anybody about that?
Hold on.
I have-
Wait a minute. Let me
Oh,
try
I'm
this
sorry.
again.
I
Hold
have
on. Wait a minute. Let's try this again. Let's try this one more time.
Are you comfortable?
Let's try this
writing
one
up
more
some-
time.
Some guidelines. and-
Let's try this one more time. I'm just waiting. All right. Now, was there any questions for Ms. Gaskins?
I have one.
Okay. Go ahead.
Would you care to write up some type of guidelines, some type of parameters, or something that would kind of put the guardrails around what we're doing?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Sorry about that. We got to follow the rules around here, people. All right.
What time is it?
Almost that time. Any new business? Okay, with that being said, I would like to call this meeting to adjourn at 7:42.
Thank you.
Gonna do plastic flags.
Yes. What'd you say?